The objective of this tutorial is to guide you on how to calculate weighted results in Microsoft Excel. So these weighted results could be either your test at school, or whether if you're an educator, or you have any type of figures that you need to apply percentage weights. So in this, percentage weights means, let's say if for test one weighs about 40% of the final mark, maybe out of maybe a total of 10 different tests, and then there'll be like tests that are weighing more than others. So here you would be able to do it on Microsoft Excel. So I'll be showing you on how to do this using Excel step by step, and then you just need to always come back to reference on to see on how to actually conduct this. So over here, I've got results of students. So these are students, well, just example students who have 10 tests, and then as the educator or anyone that will be working with the results, your objective for this is to obviously get the final mark and also to show the percentage. And currently, all the marks here out of 100, and they just in numeric and not necessarily percentage. But first, in order for us to get the final mark, these are the steps that you'd need to make. So over here, you need to start a new column, which then you would name final mark. Then also to that, next to that, you would then say percentage. So you can just say shift and then press number 5 or the percentage sign, whichever it is on your computer. And then you show the percentage, and then you also say final mark. So here on this column, this is where we're going to show the percentage if we're showing percentages. But if your final mark will still be shown as a number, but then also represents a number out of 100, you can then just use this column for, but we'll then work out both of these. So the next thing that you also need to determine, so these students can be, they can be endless, they can go up to whatever number. So what you want to do is to first identify what each test weighs, and you would necessarily know what each test weighs. And then if you know what each test weighs, so there's a variety of ways to do it. It's either you can reference it as a cell within here. So maybe you can create your own cell which will say test weights, and then over here maybe test 1 weighs 20%, and then test 2 weighed 10%, and maybe let's say these obviously will all have to be out of 100, and let's say the final test will weigh 30%. Then we just need to be mindful. So if you just hover here, you see this is a sum of 60. So now all these 7 must work out to 60. So let's just say 10%, which is 10. Okay. 5%. 7 is 10%. Just double check. Yeah, that's 110. So what we can do, we can change these to 5%. Obviously, you would have the correct. We check, okay, the sum, it says 100. So all of these now. So the last test will weigh the most. Then also the first test will weigh the second most. Then these will then also weigh 10%. Then all the other tests will be 5%. So now we've got our test weights. So these are all aligned to all the different tests. And now in order for us to get the final mark, we would then just go over, and you would then need to use a formula, which would start with equal. And you can say equal, and then you can just open a bracket, and then here you can click on this cell. But here we're going to expand on this. So what you want to do after you click the cell, then open another bracket and close another bracket so that you have the cell inside a bracket. So this is where we're going to do our calculation. So we're going to first open the bracket, then click your cell and then close your cell within other brackets. Then here we're going to say plus, and then we're going to click the next cell, then just follow because we're going to go back here again. So now we're closing all these different cells within. So we're adding all of these up. Plus, go through them all. And because of Excel intelligence, so we just need to do it for the top row, then we'll apply it to all the other rows. We just need to work hard once so that we select all of them and we make sure all of them are closed within bracket. Go back now. So all of our cells are highlighted. As you can see, they all have a color, which is all over here. And then we have this bracket at the end. So what we want to do, we want to close this bracket. So now we know, okay, we've closed the bracket. So what we want to do is we want to now go back to each of these. So we're going to start with the first one. You're going to say times. Times is actually the star sign. So you might need to press shift and the star. And we're going to press on that. Then we go to the second one. We say star, which is times that. And then we do, so we do it for all of them. All of them, just make sure it's aligned to what we want. Go to the next one. As you can see, as we press, Excel kind of highlights which column or cell we've got selected. Now we're gonna go there, times that. And the last one times. Then what we want to do, we want to press enter. So you can see over here, this first student is 66. So the final mark then will be 66% based off all the weighting. So if maybe you did not also, so another way to do it, if you didn't want to reference and you know all your marks off by heart, or you are sure what percentages they are, so like the first one here is 20%, you could just write it there 20%. The second one was 10%, you'll see we'll still get to that 66%. So if you just write it there, so it's still 66%. So that's another way, either you reference it or you can write it within the calculation there. So that's 66. So in order to show it, if you want to show it as a number, that's how you're going to show it as 66. Or if you want to show it as a percentage, what you do is to say equals this, then you want to divide it by 100. That's 66%. So that's how you would get your 66%. Then if you want to see for all students, you can just drag down, so it will calculate it. And then this is the final. So actually here we'd wanna, okay, I see. So this is another trick that we need to do, because now if you're referencing, your cells actually move. So let's go back to referencing these. Um, yeah, let's reference. Okay, so what we want to do, because now if you could move on to the next row, what it does, it then highlights the following row. So you would have to literally have like all of them highlighted, but I'm going to teach you a trick that you would have to keep forever. So if you click on this, if you can click your F4 on your computer. There's a F4 button. So if you click on the C13 and then you say F4, it will make a dollar sign, or alternatively, you could manually um, type a dollar sign in front of the C and then a dollar sign in front of the number. But I would suggest pressing F4, which will be quick. So you'd want to go on all of these references and press F4, so that this means that you are locking the cell to the calculation, so that whatever student you highlight, it will always be referencing. Okay, we've got that. So now if we drag down, these are the marks of these students. So if you want to drag down, if you have a long class, you might need to just automatically. So if you go on this corner and you double click, it will fill them in automatically. So now you will see all your students have a year mark, or these are your marks that you're trying to track for yourself based off the percentages that you've received. So yeah, basically that's how you would then go about calculating weightings based off percentages of results, whether it's tests, exams, or whatever numeric that you're trying to work out.